It is such an honor to be here, a special honor to be here in all kinds of ways. And this particular day is 24 hours plus from a monumental event in all of our lives. We didn't live it personally, but we lived it personally. And we are in a public as well as a personal kind of mourning and sadness right now over the massacre at that helpless elementary school in Connecticut just yesterday. None of us can escape the deep emotional involvement in the unspeakable actions of violence against children, the most innocent, the most helpless among us all. We have been thrust there before, and we all know we will be again. But we are indeed fortunate this particular time, this particular afternoon, to have before us an opportunity to participate in a public event of hope and optimism, of graduation and commemoration on this special day for the class of 2012, Texas Christian University. And you can relax about the speaker part of my duties today. Commencement speakers are mostly, or should be mostly seen and rarely heard, and usually are. I have been at hundreds, seems thousands, of commencements. As a graduate myself, as a worshipful parent or friend, as a grandfather, and of course also many times as a reporter. I swear to you, I cannot remember the names of any of the commencement speakers I have heard. I cannot even remember what any of them look like. So, nobody came here today to hear the commencement speaker or to any other commencement to hear the speaker. And for that in mind, I promise you, I will not keep you long. I'm going to do something first, though, that may encourage you to remember me. And that is, I'm going to call the bus to Houston. Now, you may think, what does that mean? It means that back in the 1950s, I attended a small junior college in a place called Victoria, Texas. Now, I'm sure every one of you knows where Victoria is. How many of you have been to Victoria? Hey! Very small junior college. I had 300 students when I was there. But the important thing, no, not the important, an additional important thing, was that I worked at night in the bus depot, the Trailways bus depot in Victoria. And here's one of the things I did. May I have your attention, please? This is your last call for Continental Trailways, 8:10 p.m., Silverside, air-conditioned through liner to Houston. Now leaving from lane 1 next to the building. For Inez, Edna, Ganado, Louise, El Campo, Pierce, Wharton, Hungerford, Kendleton, Beasley, Rosenberg, Richmond, Sugar Land, Stafford, Missouri City, and Houston. Connecting in Houston for Huntsville, Buffalo, Corsicana, Dallas, Fort Worth, Wichita Falls, Amarillo, Tucumcari, Albuquerque, Flagstaff, and Los Angeles. All aboard! Don't forget your baggage, please. Now you may be asking yourself, of what possible relevance does that have to what's going on? Trust me, it's extremely relevant. Those occasions when I called the bus in 1950 were the first times I was ever paid money to speak into a microphone. I am being honored, as Victor just went through, for all the things I did on television. And that's where it all began. Look, I have a few very quick, real commencement-like messages for all of you, my sister and fellow members of the class of 2012. Number 1, please be civil, be fair. One of the most serious losses we as a society have suffered in recent years, in my opinion, is the denial or the disintegration of civil discourse. There is a meanness of communication alive in the land right now. I see it in the mail and the email we get at our program. We get it, I hear it on television and the radio, as you all do. You read it in the newspapers and magazines, and most of you young people read it, of course, on blogs and elsewhere on the internet. The controversies involving Congress, the president, budgets, spending, taxes, fiscal cliffs, as well as war, have definitely heightened the passion of the rhetoric and the disclosure at this particular moment. But there will always be differences. There always must be differences in our free and open society. But we are civilized people. We should disagree in a civilized manner. We should acknowledge the right of others to disagree with us. We should acknowledge the possibility that sometimes, some very rare times, we might even be wrong. And strange as it may seem, we might learn more from listening than from talking ourselves. Definitely more from talking than shouting. And I would also now urge each of you graduates to find ways to serve. When he was Secretary of Defense, Robert Gates made a speech at Duke University. He made the point about how few Americans are truly involved in meeting the gigantic military obligations of this country. And he urged Duke students to consider military service before going off to their chosen professions or lines of work. I'm not doing that. Trust me, parents, I'm not doing that. But I would say to all of you, no, you do not have to join the Marines and fight in the next war in Afghanistan or anywhere else. But no matter what you decide to do with your life, with your vocation, all I'm urging is that you also serve. Go ahead, be rich, be poor, draw pictures, write novels, make movies, be single, be married, make babies, raise babies, try cases, treat sick people, teach people, drive buses, play ball, act, sing, play an instrument, bank, invest, invent, manufacture, experiment, compute, cook, research, pray, whatever, wherever. But also, please find a way to serve your neighborhood, your town, city, state, and country. Serve a common purpose beyond yourself and your immediate family and your or their interests. And finally, can you believe I'm already saying finally? I'm keeping my promise. Finally, I leave you a message, an advice message. It comes in the form of the ultimate recycled quote. It is what a fictional lieutenant governor of Oklahoma, as you know, is just north of here. He said this in a commencement speech at a fictional state college in the fictional town of Hugotown, Oklahoma. He said, and I'm quoting, "As you search for a place in life, I hereby advise you to take risks. Be willing to put your mind and your spirit, your time and your energy, your stomach and your emotions on the line. To search for a safe place is to search for an end to a rainbow that I guarantee you, you will hate once you find it. Take charge of your own life. Create your own risks by setting your own standards and satisfying your own standards." Now, I know it is unlikely that any of you will ever have occasion to remember either me or my commencement address. I don't blame you. But if by chance something does linger, I hope it's just that there was this lieutenant governor guy up there who kept saying, risk, risk. The way to happiness is to risk it, end quote. Now, that is a recycled quote because it comes from a novel that was published in 1990 called The Sooner Spy. I wrote that novel. And I stole the lines verbatim from a real commencement speech I made in 1984 at one of Kate's and my daughter Jamie's college graduation. So, it's a quote of a fictional quote that began as a real quote, the ultimate recycled quote. I mean it as much today as the day I said it the first time in real life in 1984. And please remember now the bus call, if you think you can do that for me. And remember also what I did say as a further advice at the end of that bus call. Advice for life is, whatever else you do with your life, never, ever forget your baggage. Now, I thank you for this honor you've bestowed on me. I have received the ultimate honor. I am now a horned frog. I have always longed to be such a thing, and now I can say I am one. And I am particularly proud because it puts me where I belong, which is in the company of the horned frog I have loved and lived with for many, many glorious years. I refer, of course, to my wife, Dr. Kate Tom Staples Lehrer, TCU class of 1959, Honorary Doctorate class of 2006. I followed her in her footsteps as a commencement speaker as well. So this is, trust me, an especially special day for me, as I know it is for all of you, my fellow classmates and sister classmates of 2012, and all of your family and friends who are here today. I say to all of you, thank you very much. Congratulations to all, and most of all, I say, go Frogs!